What's up, hillbillies? Welcome to the second video in this installment series where I'm just basically trying to break it down and show you how not to do this when you start your microgreens business, okay? And this is going to be an awesome video. But first off, I just want to congratulate you for taking action so far and watching these videos and taking them seriously, taking notes. Today's video is going to be amazing. I have a bunch of really actionable, specific things that will help you avoid failure when you start this business. I want you guys to make sure that you stay till the end of this video because I've got some really cool stuff I want to tell you about that's coming up in video 3 that I'm really excited to share with you as well. But yeah, we're here this is like an outdoor covered area on our urban farm here. This is where we do a lot of the vegetable processing. And we've got a washer over there that we spin dry. We do spin dry some microgreens in there, a couple different varieties. And we keep some totes and some other stuff out here. This is where we work like 3 seasons. We don't do a lot out here in the winter. I love just hanging out here. You know, when I'm not doing work on the farm, I have my hammock set up here and I'm lounging. And you know, when you're in this business, that is one of the huge benefits, is the lifestyle components that come with it. At least it is for me. I mean, I love being able to listen to music, listen to podcasts while I'm working, taking a siesta after lunch in my hammock, which is awesome. I have this shady area to hang out in. There's so many lifestyle benefits that come with starting this business. It's about more than just the money. You know, you can make a good profit as long as you focus on the right things, but you know, it's about more than that, really. In the last video, we talked about the 3 biggest reasons why most people fail who start a microgreens business, and we're going to get into two of those reasons today. So today we're going to be talking about, no sales focus is one reason people fail. And I'm going to show you specific things you can do to avoid that common mistake. And then the second thing is just having no systems or bad systems in place in your business. So we're going to get into that too. I'm going to take you onto a PowerPoint slide so I can show you some pictures and some tools and some different things that I'm doing with my business and really explain it so it's easy for note taking. And then I'll jump back on here on the film and I'll tell you a little bit about what's coming up tomorrow and what to expect, or what's coming up in the next video, what to expect for that, and some other really cool stuff. So make sure you stay till the end again. So let's jump on the PowerPoint for a little bit and then I'll see you back here in a bit. What's up, guys? Nate here with microgreensfarmer.com, and I'm super excited to dive into this PowerPoint presentation today and start going over these big microgreens business killers. This is going to be an awesome presentation. We're going to talk about these the first 2 microgreens business killers, and then in the next video you're going to get in a day or 2, we'll be talking about number 3, which is how to avoid all the little mistakes that will kill your profit margin, cause you stress, etc. But today we're going to focus on these big 2, which is no sales focus and bad systems, and the specific steps that you can take to avoid them and succeed. Okay, so this is really important advice. Really, really important advice. Most people don't really give a ton of thought to sales processes and systems. So my goal here is to shift your paradigm and show you why these are so important and how to take action on them. My goal is to give you specific action steps that you can take to implement this stuff. So be sure to take notes. This is going to give you, you're going to have some to-dos by the end of this presentation, okay? Some specific things you can do that will really help you avoid these microgreens business killers and help you just, more than the negative, more than helping you avoid them, this is going to help you succeed and help your business thrive, okay? Going where the wind blows. And if you stay till the end of this presentation, not only are you going to get to hear me serenade you in my hammock, but I've got some really cool stuff to tell you about. That's what's coming up in the next video. So make sure you stay till the end.
You're going to want to hear what's coming up in the next video. But, in the meantime, I need you guys to do me a huge favor and yourself a huge favor. I need your undivided attention, okay? When you watch this presentation, I need you to take this seriously. I need you to kill all distractions around you. So if you have a bunch of extra tabs open on your computer, close them. Turn off your cell phone. Close down Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Shut off the TV. This is really your chance to learn something that could change your whole life trajectory. I mean, if you follow this advice and you nail this and you create a thriving business, this could set your life on a whole new path. So I need you to take it that seriously. Honor me, honor yourself, and really, really focus on this and do nothing else but watch this presentation, take notes, and think deeply about the stuff we're going to go over, okay? A little bit about me. You guys might already know some stuff from watching my other videos, but my name is Nate Dodson. I founded Hugs Urban Farm 2013, sell to restaurants, farmers markets, and also through a bike delivery straight to people's homes. I quit my full-time job around 2014, I think it was. And, now this is what I focus on, and I've started to teach people how to grow and sell microgreens. I'm really focused on the business aspects, helping farmers understand how to conduct themselves more like a business and less like a hippie. But I am a hippie. I love life and I love having fun, and I'm happy you guys are here with me today. I have done a lot of things great since I started this business, but I've also done a lot of things wrong. I've made a lot of mistakes. And that's my mission with starting microgreensfarmer.com, is just to help you guys make sure you don't make the same mistakes I made when starting your microgreens business. I've been doing this for several years now, and I've realized, several things. And one of the main ones is that most farmers are not business people. So if you can just understand business and the fundamentals of business, the competition becomes a lot much weaker, and it's pretty easy to get an edge. And there's actually like one project that just takes a few hours that can really give you an edge over your competition. And we'll talk about that a little later here. I've also noticed that you pretty much live or die by your systems. When you have bad systems, it's stressful. You don't make money very well. And you can't ever take vacations. You can't, people can't step in. And it's why most businesses fail. And it's not fun to create systems. You have to, really spend some work on building them and recording them and making sure putting them into place so they become habits. But it's absolutely essential to creating a business that is enjoyable and profitable. I discovered this stuff the hard way. I just through trial and error and making mistakes, approaching chefs not a very professional way and setting bad first impressions, so not getting sales, not building systems in place, so I didn't follow up. Just having crop timing off, so I didn't have crops ready for the farmer's market. I was left picking off tons of, sunflower seed hulls because the crop wasn't really fully developed in time for markets, and just so many little things that I discovered with a lot of pain and a lot of anxiety, and it was not fun. I was really relying on my farm income when I moved into this business full time, and it took a while for me to figure out, what I needed to do to make sure it was profitable. But my goal, is with creating all this stuff, my website, these trainings, and then my paid trainings as well that you'll hear more about in the next video, is just to help you guys, skip over the hard parts and get to a place quickly where you feel confident and where your business is thriving. So let's get right into the main presentation and start on number 1, microgreens business killer number 1, no sales focus, okay? And there are 6 specific things that you should do to avoid sales death. We're going to get into each of these in detail here. Branding, education, law of reciprocity, sales systems, alternative channels, and great consistent product. The first one I want to touch on here is branding. Branding is huge. It's something most farmers don't think anything about whatsoever. This is the thing that you can spend a little bit of time on and get a big edge on your competition that I was talking about in that previous slide. I mean, if you Google search how important is branding, you get 47 million results. And I would suggest you do, after this presentation, maybe you do some more research on branding and make this a major focus right off the bat when you're launching your business. It's way more critical than people realize. That's why big companies spend so much time on it too, because it is so important. It brings a sense of trust instantly. First impressions are huge. You guys know that. Everyone knows that. I mean, first impressions are huge. It's what makes people trust you. And when they trust you, they trust your product. And that's big in microgreens, especially because people have this belief that sprouts are more of a dangerous food, so they really need to trust you. And there are specific steps you can take to make sure you start off with good branding. And one thing is to choose a great name for your business. You want a name that makes people feel good. Okay? Branding is about making people feel good. And I highly suggest that once you have your name picked out, you hire a graphic designer to design a great logo for you. Whether it's someone local or you go on a site like Upwork, I would try and spend $100 to $200 at least on a logo, and just put that thing on everything: your packaging, your business cards, your sign, your market banner sign, your fresh sheet, invoices, flyers. It's on everything. You'll notice I have my Microgreens Farmer logo on all of these slides and on everywhere. My Hugs Farm logo is on everything we do. You can see here in these pictures, that's my wife at the farmer's market stand. She has a Hugs Farm shirt on. It's kind of hard to see in that picture, but it's on all of our labels. We try and make our labels look really nice and modern. We even have a logo, a flag that has our logo on it that's flying in front of our farm, as you can see there in the picture to the right. So we try and plaster that. We tried to create a good logo that give people a good feeling, and we plaster that thing everywhere. To get your brand out there, one thing that I think is a great way to kind of establish it in your community is to try and get some publicity. Local magazines, newspapers, etc. This is an article we had in Bloom, which is a really popular magazine here in our town, just talking about starting up our urban farm. So that's branding, and it's definitely, just jot that down. I have to do branding. I have to spend a day or half a day at least on branding, because you guys really do. You have to if you want to get a leg up on the competition instantly. It's a fairly high leverage activity you can do. So the second major step you can take to avoid sales death is to have a focus on education, and to understand that microgreens are still very new on the scene. A lot of people just don't know about them. Even if they've heard of them, they don't know how to cook with them. They don't know how nutritious they are. They don't know what they taste like. So your job is to, educate people, help them become comfortable with them, with cooking them and with using them and eating them. So some action steps you can take to make sure this happens is to create some great handouts for your booth that, introduce people to microgreens, what they can do with them, etc. You might offer free sample packs. I've done this. If people, give me their email address, be added to my newsletter, they get free sample packs. I do this sometimes when I think I have extra, like it's going to be a rainy market day. And so I know my sales will probably be down a little bit. I'll create some sample packs as giveaways. And then just get great at cooking with them yourself and excited about them yourself, and share what you do. Give out your recipes, etc. A lot of people don't know about the University of Maryland study that came out in 2012 that showed microgreens were 4 to 40 times more nutrient dense than mature vegetables on an ounce per ounce basis. So that's huge. You can eat 1 ounce of radish microgreens, which were among the most nutritious, or you can eat 1 ounce of a mature radish and you're getting almost 40 times certain nutrients. So it's like the closest thing to a real superfood I've ever heard of. So that's really cool. And, they are easy to cook with. You can tell them, just throw this stuff on sandwiches, throw them on smoothies, throw them in omelets, throw them on salads, etc. You don't need to chop them. It's such a cool thing when you tell people how easy they are to cook with them. It really clicks, and they get excited too. And then give them some stuff to educate them further that they can bring home with them. I have a flyer called Mighty Microgreens that's about the university study, telling them about the nutrition and stuff. And I have another flyer that has like 50 recipe ideas. And all this stuff, these flyers, all this stuff you're going to be talking about, this is all available in my trainings. You guys get to print and download all these when you sign up for one of my trainings. So that's something you'll hear more about later. The third thing you need to really understand to avoid sales death is the law of reciprocity. This is another big leverage point. You can see in the Google definition, it applies to every culture on the face of the earth. This is like a fundamental law of, human interaction. And it's when you give people something of value, they feel obligated to give back. So it's like, you hook people up with some value first, and it'll flow back to you. It always does. It's like built into our DNA. But there are some keys to doing it properly. You be friendly, honest, helpful. And by doing this, you're establishing yourself as a person of credibility, someone who knows what they're talking about. So, that's the first way to get their trust. But then you give them something that's of legitimate value with no direct expectation of compensation. It's you just got to understand that this stuff flows back to you. You're not giving them something and making them, buy from you. So, you're not going to just teach them about how they're great to cook with and then say, but you guys need to buy this if you want me to keep talking about it. Give them some free education. When you can, give them some free product or something. Basically, your action steps on this one are just to find something that you can create and give away that's of value. That then you are seen as a giving person, honest, sincere, and it'll come back to you. Here's a picture of a sampler pack that I give away on occasion. One I was just talking about earlier. Sometimes I make people give me their email address, or I encourage them to, like, hey, you guys want a free sampler pack? You've never tried microgreens? And then I'll say, we publish some cool stuff on our newsletter. Check out our newsletter, sign up for that. Also, this miniature recipe book. This is another thing that I give away for free at my booth stand, and it has 2 recipes for all the main varieties that I grow. So that's pretty cool. It's just a little foldable book, and this is also available for you guys to download and print and give away your own booth and stuff. It's in one of my trainings. So the next thing, number 4, to avoid sales death is just to focus on your sales systems. This is going to go along with kind of what we'll talk about later, but this is like one of the key systems to focus on, and to understand that it is a system. Everything you do is a system. It's a way of going about it, and you need to approach it from a place of service. How can I serve people better? How can I serve chefs better? How can I serve the public better? And then you need to follow up consistently, especially with chefs. This is a big, big thing. That's why I have it underlined and bolded. Most people skip the follow-up, and the follow-up is the most important part. A lot of people don't buy right off the bat, but if you just follow up a few times, they see that you're reliable and that you mean business, and that you're someone they can count on. And oftentimes, if you just follow up a few times, you'll get the sale. And you can have sales systems in place that build your email list. Stuff like MailChimp or ActiveCampaign. These programs, the software programs, they're not very expensive. So you can build an email list with all your chefs' names or emails. You can build an email list with all your potential customers around town. You build an email list with people who have subscribed to your delivery program or whatever, your CSA if you have one. And you can create templates that are really beautiful. And, they get your message into their email inbox. And it's kind of a little system you can leverage. I give you guys some some of my in the trainings you get, all my different templates that I use to email people. With sales too, create a process. Think about your sales process. How do I sell to chefs? And then keep testing different methods until you find one that feels good to you and works effectively. So that's essentially, once you find something you like, do that most of the time, and then every once in a while try something else. And if that seemed more effective and you liked it better, then switch to that one and keep doing that one. And eventually you'll get to the point where you don't need to keep trying new techniques for like landing chefs and stuff, but you should definitely test it in the beginning. Try emailing, try phone calls, try something that feels good and works well. We'll talk more about sales systems in the later slide, the system slides. Here's just some examples of my sales systems. I ask customers, have you ever tried microgreens? And when they say no, I get really excited and I tell them all about them. I give them flyers, I give them the recipe book. If it's towards the end of a market day and I'm not sold out at all, I'll hook them up with a free clamshell. Or if they buy one, if they buy a sunflower, maybe I'll just give them a radish for free or something like that. And then I have a sales process checklist, a new restaurant customer checklist that I go through with each potential new customer, and it helps me follow up, make sure I'm doing everything properly. I have fresh sheet, I have welcome emails, I have delivery emails for my Mighty Greens program, I have my farm newsletter templates, and I give you guys all this stuff, even my restaurant checklist in my training. I keep referring to the training just so you guys know, like, this is all stuff you can write down and make yourself. That's totally cool. At the end of the next video, I'll tell you all about my training. So maybe you want to hold off until then on starting on this stuff specifically to see if buying my training is right for you. So I just want you to know that you might hold off on a couple days on making a lot of this stuff if you decide you just want to buy mine and get it all for automatically made for you. So that's why I just keep mentioning my training, okay? Because I think it's a huge way for you to save time. So that's also, we explain our delivery program. Whenever we have new customers at our booth, we give them a little flyer about our delivery program. So that's sales systems. It's something that we look at we've been doing this for a while. We thought a lot about it in the beginning, and now I kind of go back over it and rehash it every 6 months or so now. Okay, we're on to the next slide now about alternative channels. It's a method you can use to avoid sales death. So, sometimes farmers markets are just flooded. Sometimes everyone's getting excited about microgreens. I notice more and more people are offering them at our farmers market now. More people are approaching chefs nowadays too, because they see it as such a good market. All the new chefs are a lot more interested in local, so there's higher demand. So you should just think about ways that you can market your product in new creative ways. For me, I went with bike delivered produce subscriptions. So they sign up on my website or by phone. I automatically deliver them a share of produce on a regular basis right to their doorstep in a cooler. You may have seen my YouTube video on this. And PayPal just automatically charges them every month. But you could think of other ideas like a food hub. So if you had like a little walk-in cooler in a little room and you sold CSA shares essentially, but you didn't grow most of the stuff, like you just bought it wholesale off other farmers and you put together a box for customers every week, you could grow microgreens on top of that, and that be and always know that you're going to sell 100% of them, because you're growing exactly to the amount of customers you're going to have every week. So that could be a huge, awesome little alternative channel to really create a thriving microgreens business and, still make a decent return, 10, 15, 20% on the crops you're buying wholesale from the farmers too. You might have open farm days once a month where you pitch people on your subscription program, or you sell extra, you create a bunch of extra farm suppers. I've seen people do this. hosting dinners on your farm. You could have like kids on the farm day. If you have an awesome farm and gardens and it's beautiful, you could open it up like every Tuesday from 9 a.m. until noon. Parents are welcome to come and bring their kids and let them run around and interact and pull some vegetables or whatever. And you could have, the cost of admission is just like $20 and you get a basket of produce and you have your microgreens in there every week. And, there's plenty of other things though. There's all these people that are huddled together every day, all day long at work. So you might find a business in town that has 100 employees and say, hey, we have a microgreen CSA. We can drop them off here at work and put them right in the fridge every Tuesday. Who's interested in signing up? And get them signed up. And with alternative channels, just think about technology too. There's so many cool technologies coming out that farmers aren't utilizing, which is kind of what I'm doing. I have a subscription they can buy on a website. There's not very many people doing that, so definitely consider technology. Here's just a picture of my delivery bike from my bike delivered microgreens. I have a electric powered cargo bike now that I use and a nice trailer. And it's awesome. I zip around town on that thing. This bike will go 50 miles without pedaling it. Or no, sorry. 50 miles on a battery charge with a pedal assist, which basically means I'm doing hardly any work. But you can just throttle it the whole time and not even pedal, and it'll do like 8 miles on a charge. So it's pretty amazing, and it's so fun riding around town with it, delivering microgreens. Okay, and the final thing that you can do to avoid sales death is to produce a great, consistent product. This doesn't really seem like a sales thing. This is more of a production thing, but it really does help your sales channel flow effectively. So I just want to touch on this real quick. High quality and consistency, they're very important to chefs and for building long-term market customers. When you get your production dialed in, it will lead to regular long-term sales because you're always going to show up with a consistent product. You're going to show up with enough for people that always stop by. You're going to have enough for all the chefs that need it. Most growers focus on producing a great product. I mean, that's the primary thing that everyone's doing, but they slack on the consistency side. They don't have it dialed in where they're pumping out their product on a very consistent basis. And that's a huge place where their sales suffer. Since we're talking about production, just one other bonus too is make sure you're producing the proper amount and recording your waste. It's very important that when you do try to minimize your waste, your product that you're not able to sell, but make sure you do record that when you throw stuff away, because that's an expense that you can subtract from your profits. Okay, that's the end of the sales killers. I hope you guys got a ton of value out of that. This is super important stuff. So there's a bunch of things you can do there. I hope you took notes. A bunch of things you can do to take your sales game to the next level. And you'll learn about in the next video how you can utilize my resources to really bump this up too. So how many of you guys found that first part, avoiding the sales killers, valuable? Just shake your heads. I'm sure lots of you guys are shaking your heads right now because that's pretty new information to a lot of people. And this second part's going to be equally groundbreaking, I'm hoping. So let's move on to part 2. Microgreens business killer number 2, bad systems. Okay. This will cause you to work way more hours and be way more stressed and never able to take a vacation. So many bad things if you don't build systems, or if you build bad systems. Pretty much you always have systems, but usually they're bad systems, and they're unconscious. So this is about making them good and conscious. Plus, if you build good systems, this is one of the keys that will allow you to possibly sell your company. You could. If you have, like mine, for instance, I have all these handouts, documents, email templates, cheat sheets, all these different things that it's like a part of a business system. And then if you have clients and you have a booth, I could sell this business to someone else, and you usually sell it for like 3 times annual revenue or profits or something like that. So if I'm doing if you're doing 30, 50 grand a year, you might be able to sell it for a pretty good price after you get your business up and going. So it's really important to build these systems right from the beginning. It's a big part of what my whole program is about. And there's specific steps you can take to avoid systems death. The number one is KISS, keep it simple, stupid. Number two is mindful, efficient setup. And we're going to do a tour of my setup in video 3, so you get a look at that. So to make sure not to miss the next video is what I'm saying. The tour is going to be cool. So third thing, create a schedule. Fourth, create checklists. 5, create reference materials. 6, create recording documents. Okay, we're going to go through each of these. Don't be overwhelmed just yet. We're going to go through all of these things, what you can do to avoid being stressed out, basically. The first one is keep it simple, stupid. I kind of think I talked about this in my quick start guide, is just focusing on just very few varieties, especially in the beginning, maybe just one or two, maybe just sunflower, or maybe just pea and radish, I think are some of the two best. They're some of the easiest, and just focus on a few things. The more crop varieties you have, the more your timing gets off, the more variables there are, because each crop needs to be treated differently, has different requirements. So just kind of focus in and do less. Keep it simple, and you can scale and add stuff slowly over time. You need to look at what's earning you a high ROI and which ones are earning you a low ROI, return on investment, or a loss. And half the work you could be doing might be losing you money. So just focus in, keep it simple, have a laser focus on the right crops, and you can dramatically increase your return. The microgreens have a huge profit margin compared to most other crops, so you have to keep it simple. I focus mine on sunflower, pea, radish, and salad mix. Okay, and I do a few others, mostly for my CSA people, so they get more of a variety. But those aren't the main production varieties that I'm growing. My course is focused on growing these 4 varieties really well. So once you get these dialed in, you could always add more, one at a time later once you get your systems dialed in. The second thing to avoid systems death is to have a mindful, efficient setup. Spend some time making sure everything is in its place, easy to access, to get set up so that you're not wasting time looking for things, and you can see, like, where am I wasting time? When you're all set up good, you might see, oh, this is not flowing. Every time I go harvest microgreens, I have to run way over this station to harvest them, and then back over here to put them in the cooler, and back over here to package them. How can you set up your flow of how your work processes so everything flows real nicely? And you'll see kind of how I do that in the tour. I got most of the stuff, these concepts I got from The Lean Farm, which is a great book. Don't leave this presentation right now and look for that book on Amazon, but it is a great book. Basically, though, my course, I kind of go into all this stuff and summarize it for you, but the whole point is to create your environment so that it gives you energy and lets it flow. It doesn't create stress, and it's very efficient. The number 3 thing to avoid systems death is to create schedules. So most people wake up, or they start working on their business for that day, and they say, "What should I do today? I don't know. I'm overwhelmed. There's tons of stuff to do. What should I do? What should I do? Maybe I'll just get on Facebook and check that real quick, and Instagram, and pretty soon, your day's halfway over, and you're even more stressed than when you started." So you need to map out your schedule and processes and know the exact steps, action steps you need to take each day of the week. So you have to do things properly, time things properly, or else you could throw off your whole schedule, and your crops could be coming in late, or they could be ready before you need them, and their shelf life will be destroyed. And creating a schedule lets you see when you can batch tasks, like things that are very similar. You can do at the same time. And this allows you, if you have a good schedule, exactly what tasks need done each day, you can take time away. This is what I do. So an intern or a neighbor or something can come in on a day, and they can look at your schedule And they can look at my course too. My course I go through every single day, and it matches the schedule. I have schedules for a once weekly harvest or a twice weekly harvest that I give you when you buy the course that tells exactly what to do each day of the week. So with my videos combined with the schedule, you can pass the stuff off to someone and still take a vacation. That's one of the hard things with growing microgreens is it pretty much requires something every day of the week. That's what bums a lot of people out, is not being able to take vacations. But if you have it set up properly where you know what to do every day, you have it written down, and you can pass it off to someone else, then it's great for quality of life. This is if you want to use my schedules, this is like, you guys, you can create these things yourself. Start growing microgreens and writing down everything you're doing each day, making sure the timing works out. Or you can end up buying some of my products and get my weekly schedules for you. I can run 2 sets of these microgreens under one set of lights, so I'm doubling my production on that first schedule you see there. It's for a Tuesday and a Friday harvest, and I have all the action items for the Tuesday harvest in teal color, and all the action items for the Friday harvest in fuchsia or pink. And it shows you exactly what you need to do to layer these things on top of each other. So these are really cool. These schedules that I give out, I had someone, Scott, tell me that these things were worth the cost of the program alone. Just these schedules. He loves them. Tons of people have told me they're awesome. So, but you can do this yourself, Just create a schedule so that every day you know exactly what items you need to do. Checklists are awesome. There's a book called The Checklist Manifesto that I read several years ago about how crucial checklists are to making sure you get everything right. They reduce errors, they reduce decision fatigue, so you're not trying to constantly figure things out. They save time. And there's 3 checklists that I highly recommend for a microgreens business. One is just your daily tasks, which is basically the schedule that we just looked at. It's a schedule, but it's also in kind of a checklist format, so I cross things off. You'll see that in the course. I go through the checklist in the course pretty much the whole time. A farmer's market checklist, so I have a thing that lists everything that I need to bring to the farmer's market, and I check it off every time I pack up, so I make sure I'm not forgetting anything, and the wife or doesn't have to run back, or I can't charge credit cards that week or whatnot. And then the next one is a customer acquisition. This is for chefs, new restaurant customers. I fill out a checklist and I go through it to make sure I'm following up properly and taking the proper steps. And all this stuff comes with the course as well. The next thing is create reference materials. So this is just stuff like reminders, stuff you look at that has really organized notes so that you can quickly access all the information you need. There's a lot of lots of little things you need to know for growing microgreens. So this is like things you can pick up real quick and say, oh yeah, this is what I need to do. And this helps you make sure you do the same things every time. So if errors do crop up or things crop up, you can say, wait, did I not follow a process? And you look at it and figure it out, and you tweak your reference materials if needed. These can also be used for employees. They just reduce anxiety and increase confidence because you just always know the best thing to do when you're looking at your references. And it takes time to make these things and to record them and to print them off and to use them, but it's totally worth it. And I have like bunch of reference materials that come with the course. These are some crop cheat sheets that tell you how to start them, how to grow them, how to harvest them, some other tips, blah blah blah. This stuff all comes with the course. The last thing is just create recording documents. So keep good track of what you do, what you spend, what you earn. Record all this stuff. The only way to know that if you're profitable and what you need to do is to nail your income goals. And you don't know that unless you're recording your expenses and your income and everything. And this just makes tax time much less makes tax time much less. Sorry, I meant to put much less stressful in there. It definitely does not reduce your need to pay taxes every year, but these are some of the things I record: sales, daily notes, expenses, unsold products, invoices, customer contact information. I have documents that come with the course that, you keep track of all your farmers market sales on there, all that type of stuff. So I hope you guys are super excited for video number 3. In this next video, we're going to cover how to overcome microgreens business killer number 3, which is just making lots of little mistakes. I'll show you specific steps you can take to prevent all the little errors from chipping away at your profits and the joy your work brings you. I'll give you a quick tour of my operation, a little video tour that I shot a few months back. Give you details and an inside look at my online trainings, all the resources it comes with, information about all the videos that's included, all the stuff you guys are probably already wondering right now. So that's pretty cool. And I also have an extra bonus little surprise for you in video 3 that I think you guys are going to love and get a bunch of value out of. So I hope you found this super useful. I hope you took notes. And if you are still deciding to start a microgreens business, make sure to do all the things we went over in this presentation. And I know you guys are probably, feeling overwhelmed right now with just these 2 things that I've been talking about and how they're both really elaborate. And then you got to learn all the growing stuff and you got to do this and that. And I'm telling you, just, stick with me for one more video. You get to see my trainings and, just have everything you need to nail this stuff and not stress about it and not worry and have all your questions answered. So we're going to get more into that in the next presentation. Don't stress. Don't worry about that for now. I know it's a little much, but stick with me, you guys. I'm going to help you get dialed in and to nail this business if you decide this is right for you. So that's what's coming up in the next video. Yeah, well, I'll jump back on the video here and chat with you for just a second.
All right, guys, I hope you loved that PowerPoint and you got a lot of value out of it. You were taking notes and, you're getting excited and you're ready to start taking action and get your business going. I'm super excited for you, and coming up in the next video, which you're going to get here in your email in a day or 2, I'm going to go into the third biggest reason why a lot of people fail when they're getting started in this business, and it's it has to do with just making a lot of little mistakes, having a lot of questions, and doing a lot of little things wrong that just eat away your profit margin for your first year. And I'll talk about how you can avoid that, actionable things you can do to avoid having that cause your business to fail, draining your bank account and draining your energy. So that's going to be an awesome video, and in the next video I'm going to take you on a little video tour and show you the rest of my microgreen setup here. So I'm pretty excited for that as well. Show you what I got going on indoors, and and then I'm going to tell you about my different trainings that I offer. I've had well over 100 people take my trainings. It's a combination of videos and downloads and lots of cool stuff that help you have your business dialed in and profitable from day one. And I'll be going into that in the next video as well. I'll do a little screenshot and show you what the course looks like and everything. So that's all coming up in video number 3, which you're going to get here in a day or 2. So make sure you're getting my emails. If you're on Gmail and they're in your promotions folder, drag them over to your primary folder and then click the button that says do this for all future emails from me. I want to make sure you see my stuff. Pull me out of your spam, mark me not as spam, whatever you have to do, because this video is going to be awesome. Video number 3. Hope you got a lot of information out of today's, and we'll see you in the next one. All right, peace.
Big wheels keep on turning.
Proud Mary, keep on burning. Rolling, rolling.